when you start cross-referencing certain things with the Bible and how it has played a big, major role in forming society since the beginning of time, medieval times. Even in this book right here where it talks about witches, the stories of witches, witchcraft, voodoo, curses, people that was practicing during those times as well. Christians are very spiritual people. During those times, you had some churches, but a majority of Christians practiced and they prayed and they fasted in secret and in silence in their homes because they had nowhere to really go and worship during those times. In this book here, it talks about how the witches were going around and tricking the Christians into selling their homes, which was weakening their spiritual connection because they had nowhere to go and pray, fast, and worship him. The real estate market this stuff has been taking place since the medieval times. So when people start to talk and try to trick you into selling your homes and all that stuff, even in the Bible, it says a man who rebukes the word forces himself into harsh labor. So why are we so busy chasing after wealth when it also says in the Bible that a man and his riches will not enter into the kingdom of heaven? When you seek ye first the kingdom of God, he will grant you everything you need and more, the riches that he has here on earth and in heaven. But a lot of people are chasing wealth themselves and forcing themselves into harsh labor by trying to be rich, trying to have an image, a status to keep up, big houses, fancy cars, but they're neglecting their real responsibility and their purpose here in life. That's why it's important. Sometimes it's important to keep either the land. It was important to keep the land and the homes that our great grandparents had because, hey, it's easy to keep up and maintain. But a lot of people sold out because they didn't learn a skill and a trade. But there was power in those homes, prayer in those homes. The devil likes to keep you busy and distracted. Even when it comes down to the legal system, which witches in Salem formed a legal system in medieval times when they were going around and tricking, conning, baiting, and luring people into devious acts or setting traps for them using false allegations, which is the main reason why when you go in a courtroom, they just wear black robes. This stuff takes place back to medieval times. But during those times when they realized what the witches were doing, they started punishing them to death for those false allegations. They were practicing that. They were doing that in other countries. Now, when you go into the courtroom, you go into the courtroom under their authority, under their law. But if they rise up against you with false allegations and lies and slander to try to convict you on things that you haven't done and you are innocent, sometimes they put curses on their families. That is a curse. Psalms 109 is a whole entire curse. That is a whole entire curse. Psalms 109, that is an entire curse. That sometimes, that's why people don't understand the power of prayer. You don't never understand or realize how many spiritual anointed people have been falsely accused and arrested and put behind bars, and curses have come back on those families' bloodlines. They don't because they can't see it in the natural. But just like air, just because you can't see it, don't mean it ain't there because you need it. These are curses. The book of life comes with blessings and curses. That's why, even like I say, a judge, when you enter in that courtroom, you enter under their authority in the flesh. But if they falsely accuse you, sometimes they put their family in bondage and have curses come back on them. They're under another authority in the spiritual realm. This thing is real, man. This thing is real, yo. Spiritual warfare is real, yo. Get into your word. Feed the spirit, minutes to feed your natural. Be blessed, be encouraged.